All right, so moving on to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from Mitchell Ulrich, who asked me to do a Patreon request involving a crossover between Predator and Riddick, which I think could actually happen because if I'm not mistaken, I think it's under the Fox studio. I think, well, technically Riddick. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't under Fox. It was under originally Universal Studios, and now the rights of Riddick are now owned by Vin Diesel. So, yeah. So this wasn't going to happen regardless in real life, or in a might happen in a comic. You never know. But I'm getting off topic. So, as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over to my Patreon. Hit the third tier. That'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, let's get started with the video. So, this story is going to be set in between the third movie, which is just called Riddick, and Chronicles of Riddick. So this is after he's killed the Necromonger King and is now leading. Riddick is now leading the Necromonger Empire. So in this story, Riddick is now, he's a leader of the Necromongers, and he's still trying to figure out how to be a king, because at his core, he's more of a warrior and a fighter than he is a leader, especially when he's trying to change the empire, trying to change the empire, but he doesn't really know how. And also he's just kind of watching out for Vaco coming up from his up behind him all the time. However, he starts. One of his advisors mentions that there's been several attacks on their several of their conquered bases, and he's just kind of so what do you want me to do about it? And he's like, well, we don't know if it's outside sources, but they're killing a good number of our soldiers, and maybe we should send a strike team to stop them. And he's like, better yet, I'll go with you. So Riddick, despite his advisors going, no, you have an empire to lead and all that, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go there. So Riddick, and he even he looks at Vaco and goes, you should come too. And Vaco at first is like, my lord, why do you want me to come? And he's like, might be useful. So several of their strongest fighters, Vaco and Riddick, they go to this planet, and they reach the base. They reach the Necromonger base, and it is a slaughterhouse. It's absolutely butchered. They are people are not only strung up and skinned, but also they're all torn off, faces are torn off, shit like that. It's just an absolute fucking massacre. It is nothing short of just a fucking massacre. So here's what happens next. Riddick is well, what the fuck could have done this? And Vaco's rebels maybe, but we won't know for sure. Let's just look around. So they proceed to look into the situation and start trying to figure out what exactly could have done this. What on earth could have been capable of this kind of level of brutality? So they start looking around, right? And essentially what they find is, again, it's almost like people, some of their soldiers' heads were taken, spines were ripped out. But not only that, they were completely it was just a massacre. And one of this Vaco brings up before you became our leader, he's telling Riddick we had reports of a race of our soldiers on the outer side of the galaxy had reports of a race of beings that hunted similarly to this, but this is just way too brutal. We encountered a race of hunters. And these hunters essentially took heads and hands and weapons as a sign of a trophy for the hunt. And Riddick's kind of all right, but you said they don't act like this. And he's like, no, they don't. And that's when suddenly Riddick gets 3 lights on his chest. He's like, shit, ducks, and he almost gets hit. And that's when the person who fired that plasma caster jumps down, and it's just not just him, but 4 others behind him. These are not your typical predators, because these 5 predators are bad bloods. This is a bad blood hunting party. Yeah, Usually when bad bloods, they go off alone, but here in this situation, they're this band are, they united in order to like get a better kill streak. So immediately, Riddick, Vaco, and some of the soldiers get into a fight. Immediately get into a fight with these Yautja, and it's very clear that they're not again, to prove that they're bad bloods. They're fighting dishonorably. Like they're just kind of like trying to take out. They're trying to take out soldiers through dishonorable methods. Like one soldier, he loses his weapon, but rather than to give him a chance or see him as no longer a target, the Predator just grabs him, tears his face off, puts it on, and then proceeds to just split his head in half. Then you have another Predator who just cuts the guy's legs out from under him, and then proceeds to pull his spine out through his chest. So it's very clear that the soldiers are, Riddick and the others are outmatched, but Riddick is holding his own against one of them and actually manages to kill it. So he managed to take one down, and that stops the other bad bloods for a second, and they're just kind of they're like, what, how the fuck did that happen? And that gives him and Vaco, who are the only survivors, a chance to run. And Riddick does get struck again. Only he gets grazed by a plasma caster, and he and Vaco escape into the jungle, while the other 4 bad bloods proceed to be like, nah, we're gonna go hunting for him. So Vaco and him try to get back to the ship, only to realize that the Predator, that the Yautja have already, before they encountered the soldiers, they were like, yeah, we're gonna destroy your ship first. So now they have to. The only way to get back or call for for a pickup is at the base, which has now become home of the bad bloods. So while Vaco and Riddick are patching up their wounds, Vaco is like, you should have left me. It's the Necromonger way. And Riddick is like, I was thinking about it. If I'm being honest, I considered leaving you behind because I know for a fact you want me dead. You and I haven't changed. I know you want the throne I have, but those things, yeah, it took everything I had just to kill one, and there's still 4 more out there that are actively looking for us. So for right now, you and I are gonna have to bury what shit we have if we're gonna take them on. We're 2 very wounded people fighting 4 psychopaths who are faster than us, stronger than us, and everything else that comes with it. So we'll, you and I one day are gonna we're gonna come to blows. But right now, let's just bury the hatchet through these guys' face. And Vaco agrees. So the 2 of them set up traps and everything else, and wait for the bad bloods to come to them. And sure enough, they do. And Vaco makes 4 against 2, and Riddick's like, we can split equally. So what they do is try to get them to split up, which the bad bloods end up doing. This leads to Vaco taking on 2 through several traps, one of which he does actually kill one of his predators, while the other one proceeds to hunt him down. The other 2, one being the leader of this hunting part of this bad blood party, goes after Riddick. Riddick does manage to solo one of them, leading only the hunter, while Vaco in another area takes on the other bad blood. So separately, they get into a huge fight with them. Vaco gets his ass beat, while Riddick and the bad blood leader just proceed to just absolutely beat one another down in a just bloody fight. And again, these bad bloods aren't known for stealth kills. It is just straight up we're gonna I'm here to hurt you no matter what. So through that, eventually Riddick does get the killing blow on the bad blood, while at the same time he looks for Vaco, who's still dealing with his predator. And for a moment, Riddick's wants to kill Vaco just so he can be done with him, but he's like, nah. So he uses the Predator's wrist blade, the Predator's wrist blades, comes up behind him and gets the Predator, and he's like, keep what you kill. So Vaco and him gather the Predator's weapons, return to the base, and call for transport. So by the end of it, Vaco's like, you should have killed me, and he's like, I should have, and I probably will one day. And he's like, maybe I'll kill you one day. He's like, we'll see. So there you go, guys. That is Riddick versus Predator. I want to thank Mitchell for this Patreon request as well as continued patronage. And like I said, if you'd like to be a Patreon member of Patreon, do a Patreon request yourself, excuse me, just hit the link in the description box below. Hit the 3rd tier, that'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.